Prime Minister is talking about fertilizer and natural farming. We have seen one experiment that happened in Sri Lanka. It had a devastating consequences for the entire economy. Your opening comments, sir.
Well, first of all, whatever be a background, but we all drive cars. So, and a rise in the price definitely tells us whether how many more kilometers we'll drive or less. So that's given. I take the first point that definitely price rise in petrol, diesel is going to come. That's going to come. The question is how much and in what. I mean, how will the government sort of make the shock at one go, or will it sort of stagger it out? So that's given. The other three are essentially behavioral changes. The government neither controls gold purchase or sales, neither of edible oils, and work from home is something which is again a behavioral change. Would all of these things remain important to once, say, the Iran war, supposing there's a truce? Would these pressures remain? I would think the pressure on gold remains. The long-term pressure in India's current account balance is a major issue. India, as you know, there's not too much of interest among the foreign investors to invest in the Indian market for many reasons. Part of it is that Indian markets seem to be overpriced, and that is leading to pressure on our for rupee, and that is creating pressure on our imports. So the gold thing will be interesting. I don't think the government is going to raise duty on gold, but definitely by sort of doubling down on whether gold can be done or not. I mean, frankly speaking, it's a question of a major behavioral change which can happen. However, a very interesting thing that's been happening in India on gold, for the first time, according to the World Gold Council, Indians bought more bullion than gold ornaments. This is the first time in history. That's a significant change. That means Indians are now buying gold more for investment rather than for ornaments. That's the first change, but whether I will have to see more couple of quarters to see whether that sustains. If that sustains, then there's a significant change already will be taking place in our gold behavior. Very big change for the world economy if that happens. About the work from home, I suspect it is more, temporary and would be sort of, would sort of ebb and flow as the prices of several sort of things. But however, the point about using metro and other things is a very important thing, and I think the pressure there, or rather the onus there, is on the state governments to ensure last mile connectivity. Even a city like Mumbai, huge traffic jam, but the metro is underutilized, massively underutilized on the same stretch. And why is it so? The last mile connectivity. There is some reason. There is a lot of work that can be done to ensure metros provide the last mile connectivity, and I think that is an investment that is
Okay.
waiting to be made. Yeah.
Okay. Shikha, tell me, is edible oil a bigger health issue than the ultra processed food?
The edible oil is also an issue by itself. And the reason is the way the edible oil is manufactured, the way it's refined, there is a lot of chemicals being introduced during the whole extraction and refining process. And a lot of it is palm oil also. So I think I would say that even though the situation is because of, the war, but having less oil and actually changing the behavioral to eat more peanuts, more flaxseed, more seeds, more nuts in the direct form will make India healthy. So I think maybe the nudge is coming from whatever reason, but it will make India healthy if we shift to natural seeds and have them as part of our eating pattern. Also, if we cut down on oil consumption and try to find more interesting ways to cook vegetables.
Saying, Shikha, that obesity is can be handled by tackling oil consumption more than by reducing the consumption of ultra processed food, highly enriched carbohydrate, and the sugar which has become part of our diet.
I think the ultra processed food obviously is the first area where we need to cut down radically. But I would also say that sometimes, you need a strong nudge to even cut down on other areas. So because most people don't change their lifestyles until and unless there is an emergency of some kind, whether it is a health emergency or whether it's a situational problem. So I think in the long run, if we cut down on ultra processed food, and if we cut down on refined oils, it will definitely have a positive health impact on the nation.